Try it that way. Okay, here we go. This is an upstairs bedroom in the same structure. Yeah, it could be a poor connection. And notice there's a bed down in the lower right. There's a bookshelf over on the left, some speakers on the wall over the bed. Okay, that's all the sound for today. Sorry the volume was so loud. Now that you're awake, you can see what happened in this bedroom. If you were laying in that bed, it would have been a very uncomfortable experience. So again, find stuff that could be a hazard, make sure it's secure, or move it where you're not going to be laying or sitting. What to do during an earthquake? Don't run. Drop, cover, and hold. Get under something if you can, something strong, something that's going to protect you. I would not get under the piano because the piano legs may not support the weight of the piano. I would, if I'm not in a place, man, I'm just having the luck of the draw. If I am in a place where I don't have something I can get under, like right here, get between, lay on the floor between the rows of chairs. The whole idea is there's stuff up here that's going to fall down. Maybe the whole building isn't going to fall down, but everything attached to the ceiling, the projector, the lights up here, it's probably a false ceiling with heating and air conditioning and electrical and all that kind of stuff above it. That false ceiling is going to fall down. All the electrical and heating and air conditioning is going to fall down. And the cement ceiling above this a few feet is probably going to stay intact. Well, you want to be protected from all that stuff that's going to fall down. You don't want it to land on you. You want it to land on something else. That's why you get under something. Hold on. If you're getting under a table or something, hold on to it. You don't want it to move away from you or you to move away from it. Keep that protection over your head. Get beneath, beside, between, whatever, any place that gives you some protection against falling objects. That's the whole idea. If you're outside, like I said, if you're well away from anything outside, just stay there. Go ahead and stay outside. If you are right next to a big building, you don't want to be there. You either want to get inside, which is probably the closest thing you can do, or get well away from it so that stuff that falls isn't going to land on you. You don't want to be at the bottom of that pile. If you're driving, pull over to the side and stop. Don't stop in the middle of the road because the idiot behind you won't stop and you'll run into you. What to do after an earthquake? Dust yourself off and check on those around you. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Check your home, check your residence, make sure it's safe, check on others, and then find out more information. Or at Seattle, go to a hub, do whatever you can to find out what's going on. If it's a really bad earthquake, you're going to be waiting for the city to respond and set up sheltering, to set up food distribution, to set up water distribution. That will happen. It won't happen tonight or tomorrow. It will probably be a few days up to a couple of weeks before it happens, depending on what earthquake we suffered and how bad everything is. May take the feds a while to get here, stage in Moses Lake and helicopter it over the mountain. Control utilities. Again, I don't think you have circuit breaker panels or gas shutoffs in your apartments. Water shutoffs, probably not. But for the building, somebody should know how to shut the gas. Does the building have gas? So somebody should know where the gas shutoff for the building is, so if there's a ruptured gas main, you can shut the gas off so that it's not a fire hazard. In general, you want to turn utilities off if they're presenting a hazard, and if they're not presenting a hazard, it doesn't really matter, leave them on or off. Water you want to turn off to protect any water you've got in your pipes and to prevent outside contaminated water from coming in until you know the system is safe. And knowing where the shutoff valves are located matters. So for all your kids that still live in their own houses, tell them this. Tell them everything. Why do you drop, cover, and hold? Here's two pictures from some earthquake damage. This structure on the left, I would look at that and second guess whether I wanted to move back into it. Probably not, but I might. The stuff on the right here, I probably would not go into. It just doesn't look safe to me. Common sense, you know. Would I go into that building there on the left? Not real sure that looks safe to me, you know. Common sense. Again, somebody with skills in architecture, structural engineering, civil engineering could look at that and tell you a whole lot more than I could, just common sense. I talked a little bit about this sanitation. If you've got a physically sound commode, even if the plumbing's not working, you can put bags into that and use that to capture your waste. If you don't have a commode that you can use, you can buy these with the toilet seat on them actually. A 5-gallon bucket with something to sit on, whether it's a toilet seat designed for it or whether it's a cushion you can ring around it or something, will become your waste place. How to get more information? Alert Seattle, right back there at the top of the list. Tune in to local radio stations. Any regular AM or FM radio station, primarily Cairo, Como, King, those major stations are going to get all of the information that's coming out of the city and going to be relaying it to you. Also, the emergency hubs are going to get any information that's coming out of the city and it will be available at those hubs. The city speaks with one voice in a disaster, and it comes out of the Joint Information Center at the Emergency Operations Center, so they all coordinate, what do we mean, what are we going to say, the mayor blesses it, and the messaging goes out. And that's where you want to get your information because it is coordinated and planned and intended for public release. Rumors can do more harm than good, so really think about information that doesn't come from an official source. Television, if it's working, can be a valuable resource. Follow city departments. All the city departments have social media. Did I die again? Have social media accounts, and oh, there we go. And you can get ongoing information any day of the week, constantly from police, from fire, from Department of Transportation, from City Light, etc., public utilities. And I mentioned again hubs. So any of those can be resources. Skills training is important. Again, you're on your own helping each other. So if you know how to use a fire extinguisher, do you allow fire extinguishers in your apartments? I would expect so. How many of you have a fire extinguisher? You don't have to embarrass yourself. Have you ever used a fire extinguisher? How many people here have ever used a fire extinguisher to put out a fire? 1, 2, 3, 4, counting me 5. It's not hard, but remember a very simple acronym, PASS. P-A-S-S. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, not the top of the smoke, squeeze the handle, and sweep back and forth. You can put out an awful lot of fire with a handheld fire extinguisher. Always have a safe way out. Never put the fire in between you and the way out. So know how to use fire extinguishers, know how to shut off utilities, know how to set up an emergency toilet, know basic first aid skills. If you haven't had a first aid class for a long time, maybe you can talk the building into getting you one, to putting one on here. Well worth it, having people trained in first aid. There's another class that they're now offering out of emergency management called Stop the Bleed. And it's how to stop major arterial bleeding, how to apply a tourniquet, how to pack a wound. Very good training, and having a few people here that have had that training could make all the difference in whether or not some of you live or don't live after a disaster. Light search and rescue, that means knowing how to get somebody out from under a collapsed bookcase. It doesn't mean how to get somebody out of a collapsed building. That's heavy urban search and rescue, and that's not what they're talking about. But there are classes for all of this kind of stuff, and you can sign up for those classes at the emergency management website, seattle.gov/emergency. And if you want to stand up here and do this, if you're tired of listening to me and you want to be in the sunshine, you can volunteer. We always take volunteers. And that pretty much covers what I was going to talk about. This first slide I put up way back at the beginning with links. Here they are again if you want to write anything down. There are a pile of handouts at the back of the room, and I'm going to real quickly set the microphone down so that I can pick all of these up and hold them up and talk about them. The Alert Seattle card. What to do to make it through is something from a place called makeitthrough.org. It talks about making a plan, building a kit, and helping each other. It's an old handout that I just happened to have a few extra laying around, so I brought them. If you have pets, do they allow pets here?
Yeah.
Yes? If you have pets, how to plan for the pets in a disaster. You know, they're part of your family. So disaster preparedness for pets. There's some handouts in the back. There's a thing called an out-of-area phone emergency contact card. The idea behind this is you can make a single text or phone call to somebody outside the area, like east of the mountains a ways, and they can spread the word to everybody else in the country that you don't have to make all of those additional phone calls. And the chances of you making a single call or getting a text out to a single resource outside the area are a whole lot better than trying to reach, you know, your son in Boise and your daughter in New York and wherever else. There's a set of these. There's 2 handouts here actually, a disaster kit and a disaster plan tucked inside of it. We don't get these anymore. They're from the Red Cross. I just happen to have a pile laying around. So I brought one set, but you can download these from the website I gave you if you want. I've scanned them and put them there. And I will leave the one set along with the list of the hub map there. These signs are for you to put on your apartment doors. So after you have an emergency, you can hang the OK sign out there. They don't have to waste time figuring out if you're okay or not. Okay, they're good. But if you put the help sign out, then people might say, better check on Bob and see if he's okay because his help sign's out. And a larger version of the same size, which if you got windows or something, you can use those. Again, it's a way to communicate with your neighbors in an emergency or disaster. The bigger one is really intended for like single family houses and stuff. Put it in the window by the door, so as the neighbors are going up and down the street to check on the neighbors, they're okay, I don't need to go in that house. They're not okay, I need to go in that house. No sign at all. They'll come after the helps to see if they're okay. So these are all resources for you to take with you. Any that are left over, if you want to keep them and have them available for others here, you're welcome to do that. If you want greater quantities, I can probably get some more and bring them back, or bring them down here. And then the other one I already showed you is this, which is 2 handouts in one. So if you did not grab a set of handouts on the way in, please grab a set of handouts on the way out. And you want to add anything?
No, actually, you know what I'd like to know though? What's in your kit, Carl?
All
Because
right.
I feel like your kit might be a little different than what you're sharing here.
What can I answer? Questions?
I guess not.
I'd like to make one comment,
All right.
that whatever else you do during this period of crisis, be calm, be collected, and be in your best interests.
Be calm, be collected, and be in your best interest, which is very easy to say, which sometimes isn't so easy to do. But having a plan, we talked about having a plan will help you do that. If you've got a plan, you've at least got a starting point so you're not instantly panicking. You wait and panic only after you've read your plan and know it's not going to work. Good point, thank you. Other comments or questions? I thank you very much for your time. Please share the information with your neighbors. Please beat up on building management to be as prepared as they can and do whatever they can to help you collectively as a community. And feel free to give us a holler if you have more questions, want another presentation or whatever. I'll come back over in the camera, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Carl.
Thank